Good morning, everyone. This is section 3.4, day 3 on multiplication and division. Now, the other day we did day 2, which was also multiplication and division, but we were just really canceling things out. Today is going to be including factoring, okay? And if you recall, if we want to factor something like x squared minus 9x minus 10, okay, remember that this becomes the one that's in front of the x squared is your a term, negative 9 is your b term, and negative 10 is your c term. So I want two numbers that will multiply to give you negative 10 that will add up to give you negative 9. Now, I did give you guys a factor chart that you are still able to use in this unit. So my factors are 1 and 10 and 2 and 5, with the biggest number being a negative and the smaller one being a positive. So the only one that would work would be a positive 1 and a negative 10. So my factors would be x plus 1 and x minus 10. Okay, again, that is my answer here. Now, if I wanted to factor something that only had two terms and not three, where I can't use my A, B, C in my factor chart, I'm looking to see what I have in common between both of those terms. So between 3 and 18, the only thing I have in common is that it is divisible by 3, which is my greatest common factor. So if I divide both of those terms by 3, I get x left over and a negative 6. So my answer here would be 3 times x minus 6. Okay, so we're going to use that concept of factoring and multiplication and division of rational numbers together. So for the first couple examples, it's going to be very straightforward. Okay, I have x plus 1, x minus 5, x plus 1, x minus 3, and then x minus 3 over x plus 4. So what I'm going to do here is, like I was doing for day 2, is I'm going to look across from each other and see if I can cancel anything out. Okay, so across from the x plus 1, x minus 5, I do not have anything in common, so I can't cross anything out here yet. However, if I look over here, I can cross out the x minus 3's because they're both in common. Now, not only did I say in day 2 that you can cancel things that are across from each other, I also said that you can cancel things out that are on the top and the bottom of a fraction. Okay, so if you can see, I have x plus 1 and x plus 1, x plus 1 directly on top of each other, so I can also cancel that out. Now, whatever you have left over would be your final answer. So here I have x minus 5 on the top left over and x plus 4 on the bottom left over. That is my final answer. That's it. You could put parentheses if you like. It is completely up to you. Okay, now in example number 2, I'm going to do the same thing. Do I have anything in common here across from each other? I do. The x minus 8, so those are going to cancel out. Now on the other side, I have the x plus 5's in common. So what I have left over is the x plus 7 on the top and the 7 on the bottom. And I'm done. Okay, now example number 3 requires you to do a little more work. The x plus 1 that's on the top is already by itself, so this is already factored. I don't need to do anything with it. Okay, I could just bring it down. I can put it in parentheses if you like. It doesn't matter. Now the 3x minus 15 is not in factored form. Okay, so I need to see what I have in common between those two terms. So it is like this problem, the second problem we did in the beginning. So 3 and 15, they are both divisible by 3, and I have x minus 5 left over. Same thing with the 8x minus 80. The number that I have in common would be 8. So if I divide both of those terms by 8, I get x minus 10. And then the last one, x squared minus 9x minus 10, just like we did the example above. Excuse me. Just like we did in the first example, what two numbers multiply to give you negative 10 that will add up to give you negative 9? That would be a positive 1 and a negative 10. Now you can go ahead and try to cancel things out. So here to here, I can cancel out the x plus 1. And here I cannot cancel anything, but I see that I can cancel out these x minus 10s that are right on top of one another. So on the top, I only have an 8, and on the bottom, I have a 3 times x minus 5 as my final answer. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and pause this video and try example number 4. Factor everything else out first, and then cancel out when you can cancel out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. 8x minus 8 will become 8 times x plus 1 because I divided both things by 8. And the bottom, what two numbers multiply to give me negative 50? That will add up to give me 15. So my factors of 50 are 1 and 50, 2 and 25, 5 and 10, and so forth. So both of my factors have to be negative. This is the only one that works, so I have x minus 5 and x minus 10 times x minus 10 on the top over, again, 3x plus 3 can be divided by 3, so I get 3 times x plus 1. Cancel out what I have across from each other, and I'm left over with 8 on the top, x minus 5, and a 3 that I'm going to put right in the beginning. And I'm done. All right, last one. Example number 5 is exactly like 3 and 4. The only difference is that it is a division problem, so before you do anything, you have to flip it. You can use KFC, you keep the first one the same, flip the sign, and then change this. You're going to flip it, you're going to use the reciprocal. So I'm literally just flipping that second fraction. None of the signs change, you are just doing the reciprocal. Then it's the same thing as 3 and 4. Okay, so the first one was already factored for you. The second one, 7x plus 35, I can divide both of those terms by 7, and I get 7 times x plus 5. The top and the next one, two numbers that will multiply to give me negative 40 that will add up to give me negative 3 would be, let's see, x minus 8 and x plus 5 using your factor chart, and then x minus 8 on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel everything out that I need. So the x minus 8s are gone, the x plus 5s are gone, and I am left with x plus 7 over 7 as my final answer. That's all.